Okay, so welcome to my first instalment of the Letters of Christmas Day Creative Challenges. This is something that has been created by Beth over at Books Nest. I will link her announcement video in the description below. And also Lauren from Fiction Tea over on Instagram. I will link her Instagram in the description below as well. So basically what they've done is they have gone and said, okay, so from the 13th of December till Christmas Day, if you say Christmas Day, you get 13 letters. So let's make some kind of bookish content around those letters of Christmas Day for those days. So you can do an Instagram, you can do a booktube, you can do a Twitter, you can do a blog, you can do a TikTok, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever platform you use, and it's a bookish type Christmas themed content creation celebration. I don't know if I have explained that particularly well, which is why you should definitely check out the announcement video over on Beth's channel. Like I said, it is linked in the description below. What they've done is they've said, okay, let's make Christmas Day an acronym. So then they have other words that they think links in some way to do with Christmas in each of the days of Christmas Day. Of the letters, I should say, of Christmas Day. So today is the first day for that, and it is the letter C, which is for childhood. I also just like to mention very quickly that it is the last day of the readathon that I am co-hosting with Connor from Connor's Library Corner, Faye from Mystery Date with a Book, Joanne from Joanne Notations, Cara from Wild Book Garden, Ellie from Earl Grey Books, Kat from Stars and Embers, and Jenna from Just a Little Bit Random, which is the Hemisphere Christmas Games readathon, and today is the final day. So if you want to know how that's all going, then I will be putting my latest vlog, so I've done a vlog for the two vlogs for the week, 9 days. I will be uploading that on Wednesday, so keep an eye. Will I be uploading it on Wednesday? Let me just double check. Yes, I will be uploading it on Wednesday, just part of my sort of normal, so I'm probably going to do more Instagram-y stuff between today, which is Sunday, and Wednesday, which is when I usually upload. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't yet decided whether or not I will end up doing all days, all letters of Christmas Day or not yet. I have quite a few planned, but we'll see how we go. But anyway, I'm doing the first one today. I was going to do an Instagram challenge, and I was going to put a photo up of my father and me when I was a little kid with him reading a book to me. I will put that here somewhere so you can see what I was going to upload to Instagram, but I was actually inspired by Helen over at Helen's Book Haven. I will link her channel in the description below. You should go and check her out. Also, she's fantastic because she did, as part of her Vlogmas, she did all the books that her and her little girl are going to read in the lead up to Christmas. And I thought to myself, well, as you guys know, I'm a teacher, early childhood educator. I do have a secondary channel which I've actually stopped uploading to. It was getting a bit much for me, but it has a whole bunch of resources to do with raising kids and teaching kids. So if you want to know more, if you have children of your own and you want to know more, you should go and check that out. It is linked in the description below as well. And some of the things that I talk about are different kids' books. So I thought, since I was inspired by Helen, that I might do for childhood a video where I talk about different Christmas children's picture books that your kids might like. So that's what I'm going to do today. Like I said, they're all picture books, so if you aren't really a picture book reader, because for whatever reason, you might not particularly enjoy this video, but hopefully you'll still like to know what the kids are reading. But if you do have children of your own, if you're a teacher, or if you're an aunt or an uncle, or you have anything to do with children, it might be a nice idea to check out all of the books that I'm about to talk about. So I've gone through and selected 10 Christmassy kids books that I thought people might be keen to know about. I will just say that I haven't actually read all of these books myself, but I've gone through and looked at some of my favourite kids' book authors. So any books that they've written that are Christmas themed, I know would be amazing because I love them as kids' picture book authors anyway. And then I think I have read one or two of them. And then I just kind of looked up different things for different reasons on the internet to do with Christmas, and being as how I'm from Australia, and again because we are in the Southern Hemisphere, and the theme of the Southern Hemisphere, well, sorry, I should say the Hemisphere Christmas Games is South versus North. I thought that I would also promote some books that are more summery Australian Christmas themed. So, without any more caveats or explanations, let's talk about those books. So the first one is an Australian Christmas themed book, and it is Christmas Wombat by Jackie French and Bruce Whatley. Probably would have seen Diary of a Wombat. It's all about a wombat living his life and interacting with the humans in his patch where he lives and how that looks to the wombat. Really cute, it's really fun. All the children that I know love this book. There are a bunch of different books that are Diary of a Wombat themed, have something to do with the wombat and his interactions with humans. Like I said, I haven't read a lot of these books, this is no exception, but I do know that Jackie French is a fantastic author. She also writes other middle grade young adult books which are great, and this series of children's books are amazing. So I absolutely have no problem suggesting that Christmas Wombat is going to be super fun and a really great read. Children will love it. I personally love the Wombat books myself, so if you like kids' books at all, I think you will like them. Then we have a book that I actually have read, and this is another Wombat book. So this is called Wombat Devine by Mel Fox, and it's illustrated by Kerry Argent. So Mel Fox is one of my favourite children's picture book authors. She has done so many books that are just amazing. I will link my favourite kids' picture books of all time video where I talk about 10 picture books that I love, and there are actually a couple of Mel Fox books in that list. She's just amazing. She really understands the importance of literacy, the importance of various different aspects of literacy learning and literacy development, and she writes really well to encourage those things and that development, but she also really knows how to entertain and engage children, and all of the people that she works with as illustrators just are amazing as well. And yeah, she's fantastic. So Wombat Devine is doing kind of like an Australian animal spin on an old Christmas hymn. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a little bit of a longer one, so if you have very small children, it might not be the one for them. It's more aimed at sort of 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, but it's definitely a great book and it's definitely worth having a look at. And now I'm coming back to another book that I haven't read, but I thought looked absolutely fantastic when I was doing a little bit of a research into this one. So this is another Aussie inspired Christmas book. So it takes the Australian summer as its theme, but it's also set in Christmas. And this one is Santa's Aussie Holiday, written by Maria Farah and Anna Walker. So this one is more about what Santa does once he's done his job, he's delivered all the presents. What does he do? Of course, he goes on holiday. And why not pick Australia when you live in the North Pole where it's cold? Why not go to somewhere summery, hot, and you can have a swim and have a relax on the beach? So it's all about what Santa does after he's done his job. Like I said, haven't read it, but I really do think that most children would absolutely love this book. I think it sounds like so much fun. The illustrations from what I looked at on the internet were amazing, and I just think that it's a lovely little switch around of what you normally see when it comes to books about Christmas and Santa. Normally you focus on Santa's journey, he's delivering his presents, his job that he does, the reindeers, the presents, the elves, all of that sort of stuff, the North Pole. This one is giving Santa a break, so I just think that that's really a clever idea. And like I said, I don't know any children that don't love some kind of variation on a theme, something they know really well, like the idea of Santa. If you flip it and do something different, kids just get a real kick out of that. So I really think they would thoroughly enjoy this one. What would a list of kids' picture books be without me mentioning Aaron Blabey? If you've been around for a while and you have seen me talk about kids' books at all, you would know that Aaron Blabey is one of my all-time favourite kids picture book authors. He does the illustrations as well. He is amazing. All of his books are so funny, so well written, so engaging. The pictures and the text work really well together. They really complement each other. They give the kids a really great nuance. You can read the book and see the pictures and get something out of each one that is slightly different, which is just fantastic and a really great skill. This one is one of the Pig the Pug books, so I think it is the third one, and it's Pig the Elf. So it is about Pig dressing up as a Christmas elf, and of course Pig gets into all sorts of hijinks because that's what Pig does. And yeah, it's about how he kind of accidentally ruins Christmas, but then how Christmas is saved anyway, but then the consequence of his not great behaviour. So I really like the way that these books have a great moral, but they're done in a really funny, engaging way. So children are learning something and thinking about the moral of, you know, selfishness and self-absorption and being a better friend and all of these sorts of things, sharing things, all of this sort of thing that is really important for children to learn, the social skills that are really important for children to learn, without it being really hammered at them. It's in a funny, engaging way. And they get it, but it's still funny, it's still silly, and they still really love it. So I definitely recommend that one. Definitely one of my favourite series of books, the Pig the Pug books by Aaron Blabey, and one of my favourite kids' authors. So the next one is another book that again I haven't read, and I actually hadn't heard of this one at all till I saw it when I was doing a bit of research for this video, and it's The Last Christmas Tree by Bill Oberst. I don't really know a huge amount about this one, but it does look like a lot of fun. I believe it is a book that is somewhat to do with not being the top of the list, not being the first one chosen, and feeling not as important and feeling undervalued because it's about the last Christmas tree in the lot of Christmas trees that hasn't been picked by anyone yet, and how that makes the Christmas tree feel, and then when a family comes and takes him away, how that works and what happens. I just think that sounds lovely. I think again that sounds like a really nice moral for children to learn and some really important stuff for kids to think about. Unfortunately, I don't know how well it's done because I haven't read it yet, but I do think that it would be something that children would love at this time of year. In general, children love personification of things, so hence why Pig the Pug works really well. Wombat Devine works really well. Children love the idea of a humanized something, so in this instance it's a Christmas tree, and I think they'd get a kick out of something that they're very familiar with, being given those sorts of emotions and feelings and inspiration and everything that humans have. So I think it would be a great book. While I am doing books that I haven't actually read yet, let's talk about two more books that I haven't read yet, but that from the little bit of research that I just did looks really fun and engaging for kids. Christmas books that I think they'd really enjoy. The first one is Santa's Secret by Mike Dumbarton and Tom Gillette. So this is another book that is a little bit of a flip on the usual way that people look at Santa and the usual way that stories are told about the North Pole and Santa and Christmas being very focused on the cold, snowy Christmas tree sort of vibe. So this is Santa's Secret, and from the cover I'm going to assume that Santa's Secret is a little holiday he would go on or has gone on over Christmas time in Australia again. So the front cover has Santa hiding behind a surfboard. So I think that it's another look at a different sort of idea of Christmas, and I just think it would be really fun. It looks like a great time, and again, children really do love those sorts of storylines that they're very familiar with being flipped on their head. They like that idea, but particularly if they do live in the Southern Hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, anywhere where it's hotter during Christmas time and where they don't get to experience that in books or in literature or media to do with Christmas as much. I think that's another one that would be really great for children who you know if you happen to live in that part of the world, or if you're in that part of the world for Christmas, because it's something that they can relate to and it has more immediate experience similarities with them. So I would highly recommend that book. And then another book which I actually saw on Helen's channel, so Helen from Helen's Bookhaven that I mentioned before, when she did this video, and like I said I will link it in the description below, she talked through all the books that her and her little girl are going to read leading up to Christmas and on Christmas, and this was A Very Corgi Christmas by Sam Hay and Loretta Schur. I apologise if I've said that name wrong. And this is about the royal corgis and about their experience of Christmas, and I'm not really sure about much else, but I just thought it looked like a lot of fun. It's again something that would be really fun and silly, and children, like I said before, love personifying animals and giving them human emotions, and I just think that it would be a lot of fun to read to children. I think it would go down really well. And then I'm going to talk about a couple more books that I have a little bit more familiarity with. So the first one of those is Slinky Malinky's Christmas Crackers by Linley Dodd. I haven't read this one either, but I've read a lot of Linley Dodd, Harry McClary, Slinky Malinky books. These are really wonderful, rhyming, fun, silly books about a bunch of animals getting up to all sorts of mischief and silliness, and they're just really clever. Like I said, there's a lot of rhyme and repetition. Another author who I think is just fantastic at knowing the importance of various parts of learning about literacy, so I think are really important for children to experience. And of course, it's Christmas time. Who doesn't want to read a really fun Christmas book that fits in with something that loads of children have been read or know something about, which is Slinky Malinky, Harry McClary, and so on. If you happen to have children, or you happen to work with children or know children, you probably know all about these characters that I'm talking about. If you don't, but you're keen, I definitely would suggest checking out this one at Christmas time because they're just super fun and engaging and interesting and cute, so definitely highly recommend. And lastly, we have a bit more of a classic children's book. This one is a little bit longer again, so maybe not for the very young children, but it is, of course, How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. If you don't know about Dr. Seuss, I don't know where it is that you've been living, but most people know about Dr. Seuss. He is just such a fun author, such fun illustrations, so very silly and engaging. Children and adults alike love Dr. Seuss, and the Grinch is one of those characters that is just so well known and so beloved. He is not a very nice character, but he just certainly has redeeming features, I should say. And of course, we all know how the Grinch attempted, anyway, to steal Christmas. This is just so much fun, and like I said, it's really silly, and it is another really fun play with words and play with concepts and imagination, and children just love it, love it, love it. It's super cute. So yeah, that was that one. Alright guys, so those are my 10 Christmas themed children's picture books that I would suggest that you go and have a look at if you have children or know children, teach children, etc. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. If you would like to comment and let me know any of the books that you have read that are similar, or books that are in the list that you love, or anything about kids' picture books and Christmas, that'd be amazing. If you want me to know that you're here but you're not really much of a commenter, then do leave me a Christmassy emoji. That would be amazing. All of my social media details are in the description below if you want to go and find me on any of those platforms. But otherwise, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and again, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.